The sports cars market isn't just slowing down, it's facing one of the biggest corrections in modern day history. But does this mean that it's time to panic and just like sell everything in your collection? Or is there still ways to profit and to collect smart? So today we're trying to break down, or I'm trying to break down the real reasons behind the crash and what's still selling and how you can actually make money in this market. So what is really happening to the market today in 2025? If I'm looking at the market and I'm trying to buy cards or sell cards or whatever I'm trying to do, what's really happening? Well, we know that now that prices have been dropping across the board. Ultra modern cards, which is like from 2009 to now, the ultra modern, if you ever see somebody like comment ultra modern, that's what it means. And these ultra modern cards that are from 2009 and to present, they are down about 30 to 40%. Now, I'm not talking about Paul Skeens when his things sell for $600,000 or the Jackson Holidays or things like that, but not the 5% of the cards. But I'm really talking about the 95 other percent of the cards that these prices are down than what they kind of used to be. Slab base cards, they are practically worthless. Like I always say, like I don't understand why people are getting base cards, and I don't even know how many base cards there would be of whatever of Otani or Elliot de la Cruz or Wemby or whatever that could be, and you put them on a grading thing. You pay, in bulk. Maybe you pay $15 to degrade them. You sell for $25, and there are so many. The population is so much of these grades that they're practically worthless now because they're just overproducing all these base cards. We always get the Topps Holiday 2025 or 2020, 2024, the tins and the holiday packs. My daughter loves opening those things. And I probably have, just for opening, maybe, 5 or 7 of the balls and then maybe like one of the mega packs or two of the mega packs. I probably have 4 or 5 Elliot Cruz base cards. Now, if I'm going to go grade them, if I grade all 5 of them, it might cost me like $50, to grade all of them in bulk, or $60 or $70, or whatever the going rate is now. And, is it worth it to do that? Well, how much will I sell it for? Maybe $20, maybe if you're doing this in bulk a lot and you're selling this as a company, that's fine, but the everyday person like you and I that, our job is during the day and I come home and make videos or whatever that could be, or watch videos. I'm just trying to make an extra buck. I'm not sure if that's the right case that you want to kind of start on. So, but I mean, if you do that for a living and you get a pretty good price, hey, that's more power to you guys. I'm just saying, I don't know why I would want to go, get slabs of base cards and put them in my collection. That's just not how I want to do it. It's just not worth it for me. I'd rather just keep the base card and put it in my, my collection, hold it for, 20, 30, 40 years, whatever that could be. And the slab doesn't really matter to me too much, but it may matter to you. It's all about, what you think and all that stuff. Retail wax, retail wax this day, 2025, is piling up on shelves, and nobody's flipping them anymore, right? They go fast on shelves, meaning like not that they're piling up on shelves, but there's a lot of product on the shelves. Went to Target the other day, and there was 25 boxes, blaster boxes of the Topps Series 1 baseball, and came back next day and they're gone. So obviously they're going fast. Obviously there's a lot of them produced just in one Walmart. So imagine all the Walmarts, all the Targets, all the Ace Hardwares, all the GameStops from around the entire United States or even the entire world, and how many of them are being produced. So, and then how many of cards, base cards, are being produced. So that's going back to my other point. Like, there's so many different ones that it's hard to make a buck, because if I go on eBay and I search like Shohei Ohtani 2025 Series 1 base card, yeah, there's probably hundreds of them on there, right? So what are you making? So it's just tough, right? Even like modern stars like Zion, Luka, Ja, right? They're all have crashed compared to their peak price, maybe a few years ago or 6 months ago or 3 months ago, whatever that could be. So the prices have gone down, that have been watching over the last 3 months, and maybe they'll go up again, what's going on. But, why is this happening? So Fanatics, they're taking over their takeover has caused a lot of uncertainty in the market. And even me making these videos, and I have a lot of people comment in these videos. If you go through the comments, if there's 100 comments or 200 comments on a video, a lot of them are because they're mad at Fanatics, or they're saying that Fanatics is ruining the sports card market because of overproduction and things like that. And are they overproducing? I mean, I think they are. Just from my little neck of the woods and looking at boxes and looking at eBay and looking at all different kind of things. I'm watching YouTube videos and some big players to have like 500,000 people following their channel, or 1 million people, or 2 million people, wherever that is, right? They're saying the same thing. And it's tough when you have a lot of overproduction, because that drives your prices down. The demand's still there, but eventually, if you don't make any money in sports cards, or it's not really worth it, then the demand's going to go down. Then your prices are going to even go down even more. Oversaturation. There are a lot of products now. There's a lot of variation. There's a lot of parallels. So like the market now there's so many things out there that it's very hard to, what box do I want to get? Do I want to get Topps Big League Baseball? Do I want to get, Prisms? Do I want to get whatever? And it's hard to know that. And then what do I get from there? Do I have a lot of variation in parallels, a lot of variation in inserts, a lot of variation in numbers, where they may have the same exact card has out of 99, and I have the same exact card here, and it's not numbered, and it's worth, $20 less. So it doesn't make any sense. It's the same card, only with a number on it. So that kind of shows you right there. There's a lot of overproduction happening now, and the rarity and the differences in the variation of the cards are not a lot to make them, more money. The autos are still expensive. You get an Elly De La Cruz auto or Ohtani auto or things like that. That's different. But I'm talking about the main 85-90% of all the cars that you're going to get, not the main top 5 or not top 10%. Even modern, or even, like modern cars, like I said. So why is this happening? Less casual money, in the hobby. Not less people are spending money, but there's no pandemic stimulus checks. There's no easy cash, at least not yet. They might have a check that they might send out because of this, what's happening in the government now, but we don't know that. But that might add another boom to the market if that happens, when you have some checks from Doge, I think they're talking about. So things like that might happen. And I'm not saying what side I'm on, Doge doesn't matter, right? I'm just saying that's what they're talking about in the comments and things that I have talked about and saw, right? And our flippers, are them leaving the hobby? Are they moving to other markets? Maybe flippers aren't making money anymore. What will that do to the prices? If there's no flippers, then maybe hopefully that may drive the prices down, because you have a lot of flippers now, even in the last 3 months, 6 months, a year, that are trying to have all these hobby boxes, and they're flipping these hobby boxes or mega boxes or blaster boxes for double the price. And then that drives up everything else when you get these different things. So main thing is, when you're looking at this stuff, what's really happening to the market? There's a lot of things that can happen to the market, and we're all trying to figure it out, and it's hard to figure out. And it's not really simple economics, like some of you say in the comments, like, oh, it's simple economics of high small demand. Well, I think it's more than that. It's more behind the scenes, and and we're trying to figure it out as a group. That's why I make these videos, so we can comment and see, okay, I got this and I do this, and I can see all your different comments and things like that. I'm not no professional economics, economicist. Economics, I don't want to talk about, right? So economicist, right? I'm not doing this for a professional living, like trying to figure this stuff out, right? I'm just saying what's happening to the market, and hopefully as you guys watch these videos, that might help you out too on what you want to, eventually, focus on in the actual market. So what is still selling in the market? So our second point, what's still selling? Well, vintage and Hall of Famers are holding strong, meaning like, 1950s to like the early 90s, maybe late 80s. You have like Jordan, Kobe, Gretzky, Mantle, Brady. All these kind of stars are still getting top dollar sales. Then you go to the lower levels, like you have like Lindros and Yzerman and Greg Maddux, and they're like nothing, unless you have like a really, really rare card from the early 90s or late 80s. You have rookie cards with Greg Maddux, they're like $5, you know what I'm saying? Like just base cards. But I mean, they're not a lot of money, and Greg Maddux was like a great pitcher. So, I mean, these things, you have to watch where you're looking at and what area you're looking at. You have, again, like you have now, you have a lot of high cards that are selling, but also you have a lot of high cards in the 90s and 80s that are selling too. But the regular set of cards are not really selling that much. So, low pop PSA 10s, like the population, they're still valuable. If you have some of them, but they are rare, and like the true rookie cards, we call them, and they are still out there too, that you can get making pretty good money on, but they're hard to find if you want to try to start ripping them and things like that. High-end autos and game used cars, so those are still selling in the market. one card or on card autos of the GOATs, the greatest of all times, Jordan, LeBron, Mahomes, like the ones that are happening now. They're still moving, and you can make some pretty good money on them. I don't know if I'm going to start buying all these things, or maybe you can get a good price. And we'll talk about in other videos about how when's a good time to buy, like eBay, maybe like auctions in the middle of the night. You can get some from pretty good prices, or things like that, estate sales, or if you can find card show deals and make some deals and have 5 cards straight for this card, and you're not spending any money, so you can make some money during that time. But the GOATs, they're hard to come by, and everybody knows who these guys are, so they get a pretty good price. Patch autos, especially low number ones, obviously they're retaining value because they are not being mass produced. But even today, though, they have 99 parallels of or out of 99 of the blue prism, and then you go, oh, there's a red one that's blue, that's out of 99. Then you have a yellow one that's out of 99 or out of 200, whatever that could be. And back in the day, there was one colored card, and that was like ranked or numbered. And now you have all these number ones that are kind of diluting the market, and eventually, what's going to happen. So also rare inserts, short prints, they're holding up pretty good. Numbered die cut, or even card inserts, they're holding pretty good. They're still on demand. You have kabooms, you have downtowns, you have like color blasts. 90s refractors are doing well because of nostalgia and rarity. And now, the 90s kids are growing up, and they're 30 years old, 40 years old, 50 years old in the 80s, early 80s, or even almost 50 years old, and they're starting to get money now and putting money back into the market. So they are, nostalgia helps you and rarity helps you, even though they were mass produced. But you can find some pretty good rare inserts and short prints that are holding up still in value today too. If you have no other ones that that you should really look at, if you guys have a pretty good market that you're in, let us know in the comments what you guys think. So, but how to still make money in the down market. So there's a shift right now. I've been watching it for the last 3 or 6 months, from flipping to long-term investing, focusing on Hall of Fame bound players, not like, Jordan and all these guys that are already, right? They're already in the Hall of Fame. You have like Curry, you have Mahomes, Ohtani, you have all these guys that probably will go into the Hall of Fame. So if you start getting some of their cards, look for like graded cards, low population key rookies, instead of mass printed base. I think it's a better avenue to look at. If you get them for a pretty good deal, maybe you definitely can hold on to them. I would stay away. I mean, not stay away, but Paul Skeens is too early in his tenure of pitching. He's only been around for a year, in the major leagues. Elliot Cruz, a couple years, Jackson Holliday, a year. So these guys could pan out to be Hall of Famers. So if you get them for a pretty good price, maybe you hold on to them. But, you never know, because the baseball changes so much in Spain. Same with NBA or football or things like that too, right? Buy raw, grade smart, sell slabs. You have PSA 10s that are still holding premium value. So buying raw and grading is the best way to profit, if you're buying graded. Now, I wouldn't, like I said before, and like back in the what's really happening to the market, the grading obviously is different. But like if you're trying to grade, like grading base cards, I don't think that's worth it. But if you can find a pretty good, PSA 10 or things like that, you can find some raw and some, if you find some grading cards, that might help you out. But only grade cards that have a high gem rate. So research pop reports. It's very important if you're going to grade these things, right? The population, is there a lot of producers? Is there like not many produce? So just make sure you look at that stuff, and the high gem rate and research pop reports. You can put it in Google and search out what that is, and it can explain to you. I mean, I can explain to you. I'm already at 14 minutes, so I'm gonna move on. So target the right auction and sales. Like looking at eBay, looking at other things, Facebook Marketplace. If you're going into Whatnot, if you're going into TikTok, whatever you're going into to find these different prices, bid on underpriced auctions during the off season or late at night. Like I said before, off season is very good. Like now, I'm not going to buy any Ohtanis now. You have 2 weeks to the Major League Baseball season starts. Spring training is starting. I'm going to hold off on that. I'm not going to buy any Paul Skeens now, because his hype is up just from that Topps Now, patch, insert that they're going for auction now. So I mean, his value is very, very high right now. So I wouldn't really get into that unless you can find a pretty good deal. But I'd kind of just hold off and just kind of wait and just see how this season plays out. Sophomore season always has like downturns and things like that. So I mean, I just get leery on trying to spend a lot of money. If it's hard because you have a lot of like Pokemon's different. Pokemon, you have a card and that's worth here, and that doesn't really change much. You know what I'm saying? Couldn't drop in value. Sports is different because you can drop in value a lot if the player gets hurt, player doesn't have a good season, they get traded and they just go into the unknown. So there's a lot of things that can happen. So you have to really watch. I mean, that's probably not going to happen to like Otani or those guys, But I mean, when you're looking at that stuff, it's hard to pan out what you may think is going to happen to the future. So you have to concentrate on Hall of Famers, like I said before. Target the right auction and sales. Buy in bulk. Bulk's a very good thing to do. Sell individually for profit. If you can buy in bulk and get a pretty good number for bulk, and then you can sell them for profit, it's a pretty good deal you can do. Look for under the radar prospects and emerging stars. You have like, the upper decks are coming out. They just came out this week, and the upper decks are very important because you have a lot of rookies. They have like the 6 young guns in there, and that's hockey. And hockey's not as popular as like baseball or basketball or football, but you can make some profits on hockey. If they have good seasons and they eventually come to Hall of Famers, you can get them for cheap and then do that too. Like you have Michkov from the Flyers, you have Celebrini from the Sharks, other guys that are out there, their first cards or first rookie cards. So I may take a stab at that and just hold on to them for a little bit and see what happens. But you have to target the right auctions, target the right sales. Make sure you're frugal with your money. Make sure you understand the market. Low pop, high pop. Gem cards, high gem rates, things like that. But avoid these mistakes. I want to make sure you guys avoid these mistakes. Holding on to base cards. Thinking that they're going to recover. If they don't recover from base cards, they're not going to recover. For anything else, right? So base cards are very important, and you're not going to make a lot of. Unless you're selling thousands of base cards. It's not really worth it to grade base cards, I think, but some of you do, which is fine. Maybe you tell me about why you think it's worth the grade base cards, but there's just so much of a population of base cards that it's hard for me to wrap my head around spending $20 on a base card and, trying to then maybe if I do one or two, you hold on to it, but I'm leery with that, buying new wax, expecting easy flips, breaking is struggling. A lot of breakers that have been doing this for 6 months ago or a year ago. They're not doing it anymore. I've been seeing I follow a lot of guys that do that, and they're not doing it anymore because they're not making any money because they're spending thousands of dollars for these hobby boxes and they're not getting the return. And then people aren't using their breaks anymore. So that happens a lot. Is it that Topps is giving these breakers, these well-known breakers, the actual good cards, and then they're breaking them and everybody's trying to get in them. So I don't know what's happening in the market. I don't have the backstory and what could be happening, but that could be the case. And then these smaller breakers just go by the wayside. It's a shame, right? Even though I don't like breaking, but if you're trying to make a buck here or there, investing in hype instead of proven players, definitely never fall into the FOMO category. Never fall into the fear of missing out category because you're going to lose your blood on it. And, avoid ultra modern, risks like now from ultra modern 2009 to present day, right? There's a lot of risks with ultra modern. So hopefully this helped you out and helping you figure out what's really happening to the market, how you can still make money in this kind of downturn market, what's still selling in the market. Not that it's really a downturn, but it has been going down. The prices have been going down, not the real high end cars, but the main cars have been going down, right? So the market isn't dead, but it has changed. And if you adjust, you can still make money on how it's changed. You just got to realize how is it changing? And what do you think? Are we in a crash or are we in just a correction? Drop a comment below. Make sure you guys let us know what you guys think. I could be totally wrong. I could be totally right. Whatever, who cares, right? But it's a good discussion topic on what you may think what's happening, right? And if you want more insider tips on surviving the sports card market, make sure that you guys subscribe. It helps our channel out, and we really appreciate it. And we'll talk to you guys later and look for our videos next time. Peace.